Thanks so much for joining us, guys. What an incredible day. Give it up for the IES experience. You guys, your heads are exploding with so much knowledge. Benny Bay was here this morning when we inducted Little Richard, Chuck Berry, and Paul McCartney and Wings. What an experience that was. But we have a treat for you. We're paying tribute to the glam gods of the 70s. These stars from England rocked our world, and this music is still alive. This music is never gonna die, and we got a special treat right after this. Some great American-born music that always had paid tribute to the greats. When I was living in Panama, I graduated high school in Panama. After living in Dayton, Ohio, I saw this album, Desolation Boulevard, and I had never been to the Sunset Strip. I'd never been to LA, to Hollywood yet, but looking at this cover, I could already tell that these motherfuckers right here were rockers that were going wild. Ballroom Blitz had just hit the radio in America. Desolation Boulevard with a shot of the Sunset Strip, Turner's Liquor. If you guys know, this is where the whiskey and the Hustler store and the Roxy and all that take place. But it's our honor tonight to be joined by the mighty group Sweet. Will you please give it up?
Thank you.
And not only is the band still alive and well, they're headlining tomorrow night at the Canyon Club in Agoura Hills.
The Rose tomorrow night.
The Rose tomorrow night in the Canyon Club the night after that. I get them switched up. They're like sister clubs. But amazing experience. I want you guys to go check out a real rock show. You just heard Box on the Run, Action, Ballroom Blitz, Sweet F.A., I mean, all the hits. This music means a lot to me because I love David Bowie, I love T-Rex, I love Slade, I love all those songs, but there was something about the high harmonies that this gentleman right here did, and the songs, Andy Scott on guitar, certainly Brian Colony on vocals, and Mick Tucker, the amazing drummer who everybody from, Tommy Lee on down will tell you this was his drum idol right here. But we're joining the presence of royalty. Will you please give it up for the rock star himself. This is Steve Priest right here.
Thank you. You're too kind. It's so nice to be here.
Well, Steve, I've seen you guys every time you've played. It's amazing to hear these songs come to life. I know Box on the Run was just in the soundtrack for the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, these songs from this era are the go-to songs for all these big movie directors now. Baby Driver and Guardians of the Galaxy, and of course, all the great superhero movies. But we're here tonight to induct Sweet, celebrate their legacy, their continued rocking and raging out there on these stages. But what is it like when you think back, to an album that you recorded so many years ago and people still today find so fresh?
It's quite amazing, actually. I can't knock it.
I mean, obviously when you're recording it, you're just having a good time, doing the best you can, writing the songs and playing the parts. But obviously we hear these harmonies in Queen, we hear them in Def Leppard, we hear them in so many bands, and obviously you guys came up, Top of the Pops was real big in England, and I know Mark Bolan, you guys had a little duel going, who could get more glam and all that. What was that like, when glam exploded and T-Rex and Sweet and Slade were all over the place?
It was really rather stupid. The idea was to, if your song was going up the charts, you would get another Top of the Pops. So you saw what anyone else was wearing that night and then try and outdo them the next week by being even more stupid. But it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, we look back at it, it was lighthearted. You guys weren't, trying to be the Bob Dylans or anything, but what an amazing influence. Like I said, when I first heard Motley Crue, they reminded me, I said, these guys are like a cross between Sweet and Cheap Trick. And they had little Sex Pistols in them.
Yeah, that's about right, actually. We played with Cheap there then.
Cheap trick.
That's that. And I must admit, they sounded like us.
Yeah. Well, we hear it in all the music. You know, this music, like I say, is timeless. You know, and obviously, you know, besides Slade, who had a big string of hits and were doing their thing too, was there any rivalry with Slade?
No, none at all. We looked upon them as like blue collar rock.
Okay.
I don't know what we looked at ourselves as, but
they were kind of like AC/DC and you were Queen, so to speak.
it's sort of, yeah.
Something like that.
Except,
Okay.
yeah, except we were more rock and roll.
There you go. Now we had a young David Jones who turned into David Bowie.
Yes.
What was his influence like? And looking back, were you a fan of David Bowie's?
I did like Davy Jones, I must admit, before he changed his name. Andy was really into him more than I was, as far as listening to music. And yeah, no, he was an influence on us in some ways, and on a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. We are celebrating tonight the Ziggy Stardust album, which of course featured the incredible guitar of Mick Ronson. I gotta say that the duo of Mick and David were a force of nature. Give it up for Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars.
And why not?
Yes, and of course, T-Rex and Mark Bolan. Give it up for the great Glam God. You know, our like I say, our tribute to the Glam Gods was sweet. You know, this was Slade. This is one of the big albums here. I fortunately had the opportunity to get Noddy Holder and Dave Hill and everybody to sign this one for me. Man, this must have been the early '80s.
Yeah, okay.
You know, they had Run Runaway and all that coming back. And,
Yeah.
you know, a little special hint about what's to happen is there's a LA band, you know, right out of North Hollywood and Burbank here that took a couple Slade songs to the top of the charts and actually reinvented them and made them their own. But this music, and he'll tell you, they fought. They didn't even want to do the Slade covers. But I think they're lucky.
It was a
and
good
happy they
choice.
did. Yes, it was a good choice. So, obviously, we'd like to be joined by Richie Onori. He is the drummer of Sweet and the guy who made all this happen. Richie, are you in the house?
Yep.
Please, grab the mic.
Hello, testing. Two.
Just tell us how it is to be able to back up the legendary Steve Priest and keep these sweet classics alive.
Well, I basically got a call. I was working with this guitarist, and he says, Steve wants to put Sweet back together. And I said, oh, that sounds really great. We had played in 2000, I believe that was 2001, for Hurricane Katrina. And so we played, and that's when we first played together. And then a couple of years later, we ended up getting together and playing. And so it's been 10 years we've been touring. We've toured with Journey, we've been all over the world, and a lot of dates with everybody. And it's been unbelievable. It really has been, because the music is so unique. And playing in so many different things that I have been in, so many different bands, what I like about Sweet is you never get sick of it. It is timeless music, and it's fun too. It just has the right chemistry, and it's just really magical music, and I love playing it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I know playing those Nick Tucker riffs, man, it's awesome to pay tribute to the classic band, and we're so happy Steve could join us tonight. Again, the Rose in Pasadena tomorrow, the Canyon Club right here in Agoura Hills on the 101 on Friday. We're so pleased. So without further ado, just give us a little music in the background there. We're about to with a lot of pride, we're going to pay tribute, like I said, to the Glam Gods. If you could grab one of these. This is for Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. I'm going to hold the honor for Slade. And of course, I'm going to bestow the captain of the ship right here, Mr. Steve Priest, with the IES honor. It's with our pleasure that IES honors and inducts the great Slade, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. As we say, your talents have touched the world and inspired us all. So please take your photos, turn up the music, enjoy the legendary suite, Slade and David Bowie.
Thank you, Jim.